Hey, High Rock. Glad that we're able to meet, even if it's just virtually like this. God has certainly provided incredible technology to still encourage and support each other, even in the situation that's going on right now. So I was asked to share one of my favorite passages, and that passage comes from 2 Kings in chapter 6, and starting around verse 15. There the Bible says this: "When the servant of the man of God rose early in the morning and went out, behold, an army with horses and chariots was all around the city. And the servant said, 'Alas, my master, what shall we do?' And he said, 'Do not be afraid, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them.' Then Elisha prayed and said, 'O Lord, please open his eyes that he may see.' So the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. And when the Syrians came down against them, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, 'Please strike these people with blindness.' So he struck them with blindness in accordance with the prayer of Elisha. And Elisha said to them, 'This is not the way, and this is not the city. Follow me, and I'll bring you to the man whom you seek.' And he led them to Samaria." Now, why is this passage a favorite of mine? Well, I've been in situations where I've been frightened. I've been afraid of things. I've been anxious about certain things. Sometimes those things are physically in front of us. Sometimes those things are mentally against us. We feel like they're against us, and they make us nervous and anxious and frightened. Sometimes we're afraid of things we can't see. But it's good to remember that the one that is for us has an army behind us, even if we can't see. There's this whole spiritual realm that we don't get to see on a regular basis. And yet God has a support system for us in place, whether we realize it or not. And so in situations where I think a circumstance might just be too overwhelming and too overbearing and too frightening and too anxiety-inducing, I remember that there's a spiritual support for me that even though I can't see it, it's there. That God has provided that for us. So, what's the application? We've all been afraid. We've all been scared. We've all been anxious. And I would venture to say that our friends that deal with anxiety, depression, being frightened, being scared, that maybe this is a passage that they need to hear. Maybe they need to realize that we can have access to a God who supports us with a spiritual army behind us because He loves us and He cares for us and He wants to give us what we need in order to succeed. So take this passage, share it with a friend who is maybe struggling, maybe has something going on in their life that's a little bit too much for them, and remind them that they too can have access to God if they choose to follow Him, and He's there to support them. Glad that we could be together. Hope this was encouraging for you. Thank you for hanging out with us, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.